We're just going to get right into it. We're going to talk about my experience as a Canon professional photographer using a Leica. It's been hard really just putting it into words what my experience has been. I use Canon almost exclusively. Actually, I use it exclusively for all my professional work. So if it's weddings, headshots, family portraits, senior portraits, anything that's going to earn me a buck, I'm using my Canon gear. Currently using this bad boy right here, Canon R5, and I love the camera. I have officially retired the 5D Mark IV. I still have it. I didn't sell it, but it's kind of like a backup to a backup. I use the R5 now. I use that in conjunction with my R6. I'm recording this video on a Canon M6 Mark II, which I was previously using for street photography. Before that, I had a Canon T7i when I was just learning, a Canon SL1. So you get the point. I am fully invested and entrenched in the Canon system. I know Canon cameras like the back of my hand. I feel very comfortable with them. So why in the world would I try to use a Leica? And this really just dives into, what you're going to be using these cameras for. Like I said, I use my Canon gear for professional uses and also for YouTube, but I wouldn't use the Leica for those same reasons. It really comes down to my interest in street photography. If you're into street photography, you're going to come across some camera brands that are very popular. And that would be, in my opinion, either Fuji or Leica. Now, you don't have to shoot Fuji or Leica to take great street photos. I was doing amazing work with my Canon M6 Mark II. Using the Canon M6 Mark II, I basically got a lot of great street photos, but then I kind of started using it more for my day job. I started using it for video instead, like vlogging, because it's a great vlogging camera. What if I want to vlog and do street photos at the same time? Right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, are Leicas worth the money?
Oh, hell no!
I'm going to say no. And that is something that I was kind of battling on as far as my opinion on the camera, on if I really want to put that out there. The Leica I'm going to be talking about, as you saw in the thumbnail, this is the Leica M10R. Talk about what I like about first. I love the build quality of this camera. It feels, solid. It has a good amount of weight to it for being such a small size. 100% handmade in Germany, so you get that precise handmade German engineering that Leica is known for. Beautiful sensor, beautiful quality of work. So yes, I love it. I will say that I did not get this one right away. I got the Leica CL, which is more of a hybrid of the future and the past of Leica. It's a crop sensor camera. They actually discontinued it, which I feel like they should never have done, but yes, they discontinued it. It has a electronic viewfinder, so no rangefinder. It has autofocus. It has eye tracking. So if you are looking to get into the Leica system, save some money and have something that's kind of familiar to you as far as the technology that are in today's camera, I would highly recommend going for the Leica CL. So why didn't I stick with the CL, and why did I invest even more into the Leica brand and get this M10R? Well, because as a photographer who shoots street, I really just wanted that experience. I wanted to know what the hype was about, and I felt like the CL was not giving me that exact hype. Now that I have shot with the M10R a lot and I use it exclusively for street photography, I can tell you that that experience, I never got the hype. This is the M10R. They have a Leica M10, which is cheaper than this one. The R stands for resolution. And this has 40 megapixels compared to the M10 that only has, I think, 20 or 24 megapixels. So they upgraded the megapixels on this camera to give you 40, which is something that was important to me as a street photographer because I like to crop in on my photos, and sometimes you need that extra resolution to do so. And that's why I went with this. I did not buy this brand new. I bought this on eBay, used, great price, but still expensive because at the end of the day, it is still a Leica. I'm not going to say how much I paid for it. I'm not going to even say how much this costs because I'm low key embarrassed about me spending this much money on a camera that I am not using professionally, that I am not planning on earning an income with. I simply bought it because I really, really wanted to find out what the hype was about. I felt like it was going to be something that I could use for street photography. It's a Leica, and I had saved money and I could afford it at the time without me sacrificing a bill that I need to pay or, keeping food out of my daughter's mouth or taking care of my household. Now, Am I going to sell this Leica? No, I'm going to keep the M10R. The CL, I'm thinking about selling it or slash doing a giveaway. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. We'll see. But the M10R I'm keeping. Street photos, image quality, amazing. I will say that the Leica has amazing image quality. The colors are standing with it. Image quality, colors, Leica, top notch. Top notch. Like, I will give them that for sure. When you nail your shots, you are going to be impressed. This camera does not have autofocus. For the price, in my opinion, for the price, it should have autofocus. It should have autofocus. So, and you should be able to have the option and whether or not you want to manually or autofocus. As you can see, it only has the shutter speed, and the ISO. That's it. This camera is going to make you pick your settings. Now that does have aperture priority mode, so I usually just keep it on that. Um, but it's not a camera that's going to do all the work for you, like some of the today's cameras. If you're a new photographer, would I recommend you buying a Leica? No, I would recommend you getting a Canon or something else that's along the same lines of today's cameras that has the autofocus, mirrorless, that can be a little bit easier for you. And this might sound a little shallow. The Leica experience is about owning a Leica. It's about saying, hey, I own a Leica. You know how many times I've been walking down the street, someone who is into photography or knows the Leica brand sees that red dot and it's like, that's a nice camera, man. You must know what you're doing, or you must really, be, getting that money. You automatically get a sense of respect from other photographers and photography enthusiasts when they see you shooting with a Leica. I hate to say it, but that goes into buying a Leica. You want that. You could be taking crappy photos, but people are going to assume that you are taking amazing photos, you know what you're doing, and you are a top-notch photographer because you have one around your neck. That is not the case. It's not going to make you a better photographer. Um, I'm not going to lie. When I took my first couple shots with the Leica CL and this one, I was underwhelmed. I do enjoy shooting with it though. And the more I shoot with it, the more I enjoy working with it, the better I'm becoming, getting used to the system. As a Canon photographer, my hands are used to the, overall design of Canon cameras, the overall feel, the menu layout, everything. The Leica system, totally foreign to me. I still don't have the exact feel, you know, glued to my hands yet. Would I use this professionally? Not really. No. I would not shoot weddings with this. Weddings are too fast paced, too much action. You can't you're on a timeline. You can't be worried about manually focusing this and that. Maybe during a reception or for some candid photos, I would take the Leica out, but if I have my Canon R5 and R6 with me, I'm using that instead. Would I shoot portraits with it? Maybe, like on a collab situation. Let me know if you want me to do a portrait session with the Leica M10R. I've only been using it for street because street is something that gives you the freedom to work with the Leica. You're not under time pressure. You're basically just out with your camera, walking about, capturing life. And if you're in the right moment at the right time and you're zone focused in, you can nail that image. It's sharp. It's a sharp ass camera. The lenses that I have for it, I have two. I have a Voigtlander and I have a Leica lens. You definitely want to buy quality glass for the camera because that's going to bring everything out of that Leica sensor that they're so well known for. I'm honored to own a Leica. I'm know it's a privilege to own one, but from coming from Canon, Canon just has so much more to offer. And they're cheaper. The Canon R5, brand new, not used, is half the cost of what this would be brand new. And even used, I still paid more for this than I would for this brand new. The Canon R5 has 8K video, 4K video, autofocus, a 45 megapixel sensor, all the crazy things that Canons are known for. It's a professional camera. This doesn't have video. No autofocus. It doesn't even have a screen that will flip out. If you want to know a real ass opinion, the only reason why these cost so much is because it's handmade. It has to be. It has to be. Because I can't justify the cost. I've been trying to wait on making this video to find some reason to justify the cost of why this costs so much money and why the Leica system costs so much money, but I can't. There is no reason why the battery for this camera should cost $200. No reason. That's what it costs though. No cap. This battery for this camera costs $200. I'm just gonna let that sink in. Leicas are a niche category, and not everyone can afford a Leica, and I think they know that. Not everyone can afford a Lamborghini, not everyone can afford a Ferrari, but those cars still come packed with options and luxury, crazy engines and things like that that justify the cost. This does not. It's handmade, it has a beautiful sensor, the build quality is amazing, but for the bang for your buck, hell no. But as I've used it more and more and more, I really enjoy it, and I know what it is, and I'm okay with knowing what it is. But I definitely thought there was something about the Leica cameras that was like so like drawn to street photographers, and I think it's just because all the, the founders and all the OG, leaders of street photography that street photography was built on, they use the Leica. They use the film Leica. And a lot of street photographers, they use film Leicas as well. Leica released a new version of the M6, one of their most famous film cameras. And it's still priced like crazy, like 5 grand or something like that, for a film camera in 2023. And people bought it. Money to spend, I guess. Money burning in people's pockets. I don't know. Hope you guys learned something from this video. I apologize if it was all over the place, but I really been racking my brain as how to come up with a way to explain my experience with this camera, and I just had to freestyle it. No script, no nothing, because honestly, like, that's just what it is. So if you have any questions specifically on the camera that you want to know about, please let me know. And I'll do my best to answer them in the comments. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.